I want to start by just echoing what one of the very first things that Linda started out with was that the more prepared you feel as a principal entering into the profession, the more likely you are to stay. And as a graduate of San Diego State's administrative credential program, I can 100% wholeheartedly say that I felt absolutely confident walking into that interview principal, and I felt prepared. I felt prepared because I could speak to all of the areas that were responsible as principals. I could speak to the instructional side. I could speak to the social emotional, that whole child that Linda was talking about. I could speak to the management, the systems and the budget, the operations that principals are responsible for. I could speak to how to support diverse learners. I was able to speak to each of those pieces walking into that principal role. But I want to add, there's a few things that, in particular, my experience at San Diego State really, I lean on now even, is that focus on being an equity-driven leader and how equity is really permeated in all of those areas. One of the phrases that I've sort of coined as a principal, with talking with colleagues, is shining the light. So how are we as principals shining the light on the student populations that are not yet at grade level? What are the things that we are doing to support those students? So really that equity is always the driving focus. And then, a part of that also is, because we have all of those responsibilities, what are we doing as a systems thinker to really support and ensure that all of those things are in place? So I still have to do, I still have to create schedules. I still have to make sure there's somebody watching my students at recess. I still have to, ensure the safety of the campus. I still have to manage a budget. I do all of those pieces, but when there are systems in place to support those things, my role becomes a little bit easier and I can focus more of my energies on those instructional pieces. It's the systems that are about the daily operations, but it's also the systems of instruction and how, like I said, how are we supporting those diverse learners? For example, if I think about what we coin MTSS, so the multi-tiered systems of support, how does that exist at my school site? What are the systems, the procedures that I've implemented to ensure that when students aren't yet at grade level, how are we supporting them? What are the process that we have to do that? So that's another layer of that systems thinking. And then finally, when I think about my preparation at San Diego State, I also want to really hit home the idea of the piece of being very reflective as a leader, and the piece of being 110% grounded in what my core values and beliefs are. What is it that I firmly believe? What are the values that I'm going to lean on in those moments when I do have to make difficult decisions? For a variety of reasons, that we make. So those are the key things that stand out to me from my preparation. I wasn't a part of an internship per se, but I did have when I became an administrator, I was able to work with San Diego State for induction. So for 2 years, I had a coach, and that was invaluable. Again, our novice, our very green principals need that support along the way. And I was fortunate to have that also with San Diego State.